I always like finding cool things for my collection. When I do, I just want to talk about it. Today, we're going to be talking about some cool stuff for finding Japanese games for my video game collection. Because I always find it very exciting when I'm going out to a local store or somewhere and I happen to see a Japanese. Nowadays, it's not really that much of a rarity to find Japanese games because people can all the time to find Japanese or anything like that. So it's not a real big thing to talk about. But when you find it out in the wild, when you're not really looking for it, it's always a fun treat. And today, I just wanted to talk about a few that I recently picked up that I just wanted to just talk about. Not the games itself, but just how fun it is just to have something different in your collection. Now, I don't make it a habit of buying a lot of Japanese games for my collection because at the end of the day, I do want to play them. But I feels like just having something that is not attained to your native tongue is very cool. And today we're going to be looking at Air and Fate Stay Night, and of course my recent pickup of the Super Famicom Super Mario Kart. And let's talk about this one first because I do have a lot to say about it. I really was fascinated by this cover. It's essentially the same as the Super Nintendo, but instead of being sideways, it's long ways. And I, for some reason, love this more because you have a better placement of all the characters than what it is on the Super Nintendo's version, where, you know, Mario is a little bit more in front of the people in the Super Nintendo version, and then you don't have everyone on the line just racing to get to the finish to make it more fun. You get a more like not squashed in side of the characters. The sky is now a nice sunset instead of a blue like the one on the Super Nintendo. I don't know why they chose to change it. I like kind of the sunset. It makes it feels like they've been racing all day and they're about to get to the finish, and it looks really good. And just being able to see a little bit more of every single character doing more things is fun. I found this at a local toy fair. If you wanted to watch the video that I did post about talking about this and finding this, you can look at the cards in the top right here. But the thing is I was looking for Princess Peach stuff to add to my collection, and I happened to come across this Super Mario Kart for the Super Famicom. And this guy had a lot of different games, and I'm almost kind of regretting not looking through more of them and buying more, because I think it would have been cool just to have them part of the collection just in certain games that I wanted to play. But because I just had a tunnel vision for nothing but Princess Peach that day, I didn't really have an opportunity to look at any other Japanese games because I only wanted things that had Peach, which is fair. It helps you save space and keep to a good budget on what you're trying to look for and that you're not overspending. But I wish I would have had more footage of that, because the person that I did talk to, it was after a few hours of the day when I was kind of done recording, and I just wanted to look around and explore, that I didn't really get to show you all the cool stuff about the Super Famicom games. And I think it's just very fascinating when you find this stuff in America and in the wild. You know, I think it's just really cool to see stuff like that. Even though some of the things are the same, but just seeing, you know, the Japanese text and the cute little artworks and the keyword artworks, it's just very fascinating. Now, I'm never going to actually play this, and it's just for collecting purposes, but it's just nice to just see and have within the collection. When you saw someone have a Japanese version of a game, you thought they were the coolest person ever on the block because they had something that you could never have. And it's like, how did you get that? Where did you get that? What secret? What dad do you know's friend that you had access to get to that particular game? And it's just, they just got lucky and found it. And when we were at Half Price Books, which is a retro vintage kind of store, people who knows Half Price, you know what it is, and someone just dumped all of their Japanese ports of PS2 games at Half Price Books. And I wanted to buy more because they had Tales of Desperia or Tales of Destiny 1 and 2 and a bunch of other ones, but these two is the ones I settled on because I just wanted to have them. Now, Air is an anime, also a visual novel of a guy who meets a girl who is very awkward and interacts with other types of girls within it. If you watch the show, it's a really sad show. It's one of Key's first anime that they made. They also made Clannad and Air and Angel Beats. And if you've seen Key Animations videos and games, then you know how it goes with these kind of anime. But it's just nice to see. I mean, you just have the main protagonist, who I forget her name. I should have looked up before I did, but I didn't, so I don't remember her name. But if you do, let me know down in the comments down below if her name is. And I just love the simplicity of this. And I tried to look up the version of the American version, but apparently this game never came out to America. And it's nice to see that it has everything intact. It's complete in box, has all the inserts and everything. And seeing something that I love, well, not in doobie love, but I do enjoy Key and Clannad and Angel Beats and their work, that I was able to see this in person. I was just like, what? It felt really, really odd to me that I found something this rare, in my opinion, just for 30 bucks, just sitting on the shelf. And I think those are just some of the magical parts about retro game collecting that it's just, you can't really explain. It's just that magical moment when you're just looking, not really truly looking, you just go into the store and you happen to come across a Japanese game and you're like, I know this, but it's different and it's just fun. And those are the little moments that I really truly love about collecting. And then of course, alongside that, we found Fate Stay Night. I don't know which version of this game it is. I don't know if it's just a visual novel or it's one of the games. I'm not here to explain Fate lore to you or what Fate is, because truthfully, I don't even know. I watched Fate Stay Night a long time ago on Netflix, and Fate Zero as well. And then I never watched any other Fate after that, but I know that it goes into a whole depth. You can watch Dart for that. Giga, if you want to see the full explanation of Fate. But just seeing this though, just as a cool cover of Saber and Ren and all the other characters just on the case, and then just on the back, just seeing all the different visuals and all of that, it's just cool to see. It's just cool to see, and I would love to find more stuff like this. Now, I'm not going to say I'm going to go overboard with finding different games that's Japanese in its entirety. There's other games that I would love to have that's the Japanese version. That's like Neptunia, Atelier, and if I do happen to find them, I will. I do want to go to Japan one day, and if I do, I'm probably going to go broke, because Japan is the holy land of everything I love. Figures, to anime, to manga, to games, everything. And I can't imagine what my suitcase is going to look like when we go there and come back, because it's just going to be a field of everything that I love into one big suitcase. I'm probably going to have to buy extra suitcases to do it. But regardless, I don't know how I would contain myself from buying stuff like this, because when I see it, I'm just like, I gotta have it. And there were so many more games at Half Price Books that I wanted to grab, but I was like, I'm only truly buying these for collecting purposes, not to truly play them, because one, I wouldn't be able to understand what the heck they're saying anyway, because I don't speak Japanese, and two, I just don't want to fill my collection with too many Japanese games. But just having a few, just as a fun thing to have part of your collection, is just fun to have. And I want to know if you guys feel the same. Like, do you have a couple Japanese games in your collection? And not that you went to Japan and found them and bought them, but you found them just by randomly going to a store and you saw it and you were like, damn, I need to have that in my collection. And what is it? Because I really would love to know how you guys feel, because lately I haven't really been feeling the same about retro game collecting lately. I feels like it's not the same as it used to be. It's not as fun going and finding different stuff, because everything is always overpriced, or it's kind of the same stuff, you know, and it's just not as fun. But when I do find stuff like this, that's what makes it fun. but it's not something I want to go after finding, because then I feels like eventually it will get overdone or burnt out on it. Maybe I just got burnt out on retro game collecting, and then stuff like this is just a nice little peace offering. What am I saying? I don't know. It's just a more peaceful mind to find stuff like this, because it's not everyday occurrence. So I think I want to keep that the way it is. Like if I just happen to go to a convention, or I happen to be at a game store and I happen to see a Japanese game and I'm just like, that's a reasonable price, I'll buy that. You know, I think that's what I want. But let me know how you guys feel down in the comments down below. Just as a person that just loves buying retro games or buying Japanese imports or anything like that, how do you feel about it? Do you like finding them randomly in the wild, or do you like actually just buying a bunch of Japanese games? Regardless, nowadays it's kind of not it's not as practical, because now with the digital and how easy it is to get into the Japanese games and other countries' games from PS5 and Switch and all that, Steam, it's not really that exciting nowadays with modern consoles for PS5 and all that. But when it was back in the day, it was one of those things that was just a magical moment. You felt cool when you had these and you showed them off to your friends. Too bad I don't have any now to show them off. But hey, that's another story for another day. Either way, if you did enjoy this video and you did like it, hit the like button, subscribe for more. If you liked this collecting type video, maybe you enjoyed me going to a toy fair and finding different Princess Peach stuff right here. And I will see you guys in the next video next time. Deuces.
Seem like the life I feel. Seem like the life I feel a little distant. Yeah. Seems like the life I need. Seems like the life I need a little.